Oh no, my coffee's getting low. Look, I'm at the bottom. Ah, my heart is ever at your service. It was one of our Shakespeare quotes of the day the other day. Here's one at the very top there. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love. I don't even know what that means. Just sounds a little morbid. Morbid meaning something relates to death. The whole body buried in the ground and the worms eating the body. Ew, gross. Worms need food too. We'll see that later, probably. There's a pretty good chance we're going to see that concept later in my Shakespeare insults mug. But anyway, hey, we're at measure 6. No, I'm sorry, we're at measure 7. I wrote it out. You're going to need to pause and do some writing here. So here it is nice and big. Notice I had to draw the treble clef and the bass clef with the dots on E, F, and G. And then we had B4, C4, G4, D5, G5. And there's not going to be a whole lot of new stuff in this measure. Thank goodness. It's a little bit of a review day. So pause and write this. Pause in 3, 2, 1, pause. And welcome back. Now, we're going to add something new to all this. Remember how when the note was just a whole circle, it was a whole note, and then when we added the line, we were kind of cutting it in half and turned it into a half note, and then when we filled in the dot, we turned it into a quarter note. And now we're going to turn the quarter notes into 16th notes, but only the ones with the stems that go up. Wait, no, I'm sorry, we're going to turn them into 8th notes. See, when you take a whole and you cut it in half, and then you cut the half in half, it becomes an 8th, or 1/8. Wait, no, 1/2. I'm sorry, it becomes a fourth, 1/4, and then we're going to turn it into an 8th, 1/8. If you've studied fractions, this will make sense. But here's how it looks. We have to go to measure 1, and we're going to connect G and C with a beam, like that. And I like them to be kind of thick so they're easy to see. So it'll always be 2 notes are connected, and then 4 notes are connected, like this. And the beams can be kind of swooshy if you like. It makes it look a little cooler if they're swooshy. And then we have to do it again. These 2, and these 4. And I'm going to try a little bit of movie magic here. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in at normal pace, but then I'm going to speed it up in my film and see if that works. So you can see how this goes, but you can do it on your own. Ready? Wait a second, does this have too many notes? Oops, I connected the wrong one there. This is supposed to be a down stem. No movie magic yet. Take your pencils, erase part of measure 2. Down, down. Okay, there we go. And movie magic can probably now begin in 3. What on earth? Oh, geez, I did it wrong again. Look at this. So much to focus on. All right, here we go. Note 1, note 2, note 3 and 4 are going to get connected. There's the beam, and then these 4 will get connected. Ta-da! And what that's doing is helping us see where the beats are falling. Okay, movie magic in 3, 2, 1, go. These are 8th notes, even if I'm sped up.
You'll probably be able to hear my voice. I wonder if I sound like a chipmunk. These 2. These 1. These 2. These 1. Now extra swooshy. Whoa. These 2. I can also draw my line up higher if I don't want it to be as swooshy. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the history of these things, if I talk slower while the movie magic is happening, it'll probably sound a little more normal. They used to just cut them in half. And then over time it got neater and neater, so it was easier to see what was really going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now these are all 8th notes. So now we have an example of a half note, a quarter note, and 8th notes. But what all that means doesn't matter yet. We're going to learn more about that later.
Alright, so now we're going to play measure 7. After we do our C major scale, we're going to do octave 4. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. And hum along. B, C. Take the whole hand position and move it up. C, D, E, Now, measure 7 starts on B. So we're going to take just a little extension, or we're going to move our fingers down one key, so we're in B position now with the left hand. And the right hand can stay right where it was. So here's B. And then, oh, I wrote C4 over there. My goodness, I can't think at all today. We need D4. Well, at least I'm catching it now before it's all in the comments. There will probably be many other mistakes I make. Okay, that's D4. Okay, there we go. Okay, measure 7. Here we go. B, D, and then the thumb moves up to G. And then I'm still in A position over here. But in order to get D and G, I need to do my triple extension, just like we did in measure 5. Does that look familiar? It should, because it uses exactly the same finger pattern as measure 5. Watch this. Measure 5, C, E, A, E, A. And I'm going to skip right to measure 7, B, D, G. Now, if I used my thumb for both of those, on this hand, I could do an octave from G to G again, right? And that would be my triple extension. I guess right now I'm really just in a double extension, because I'm only skipping 2 keys. But anyway, but the measure, the interval pattern is the same. So, if you've got measure 7, let's try 6 and 7. 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, D. Measure 7 goes down to B position. B, D, G, and then up to D, G. Get good at those two, and now let's go back to measure 5, 6, and 7. Measure 5, C, E, A, E, A. Ready, go. If I'm going a bit fast, you can always just pause me. Of course, just pause me, see what I care. And I'm playing it nice and forte, or strong, measure 6. I'm in a decrescendo and get a little bit quieter. Decrescendo shares the same root for the word decrease. You see, you can, if you spelled it out, you'd see how they're about the same. Decrease, decrescendo. And with the sustain pedal or the sostenuto, now I'm pressing. Practice that a few times until you get it nice and good. And let's play measure 1 through measure 7. Are you ready for this? Are you sure? Let's try. Okay, here we go. Measure 1. 1, 2, ready, go. I'm starting very piano, nice and soft. A little stronger. One of the advantages of going one measure at a time is we can start to really pay attention to musicality. Measure 3. I'm even going to slow down a little bit while I get softer. As soft as I can. Measure 4, surprise! Did you see that coming? Ha ha ha. Just like measure 1. Measure 5. octave and our triple extension. Still in A position, technically, because that's where our thumb is. Measure 6 uses our F sharp. F sharp, A, D. It's very strong and kind of triumphant, isn't it? If you're only going to learn one song, this is a very good one to learn. You can use it for all sorts of occasions. And then down to B, D, ending piano, which is why the name of the instrument is the piano forte. Give yourself a round of applause. Yay, bravo. And if you got it, practice it a few times. Make sure you can get through measures 1 through 7 comfortably. It should be easy and it doesn't take too much work. Just, play it 2 or 3 times. If you want to, you could play it 20 or 30 times and that wouldn't be a terrible thing. Probably a little bit more than you have to do, but that's great for today. Good job. When you're ready, go on to the next day. Good job.